that we don't like or a circle that isn't so good for us, we need to quickly make a plan and decision. And this is where we see other teams who aren't used to this kind of pressure, right? Because there are some teams in here who haven't played on big stages just yet, right? So we're in a position where some of them will be like, oh, this is a little bit new to us. This is something we have to deal with. Maybe in a few days' time, they'll start to improve and get a little bit better. Now, this could be an interesting circle that comes into play. And, oh, we're getting 2 teams that are looking to... Oh, no, okay, that's Unity as well.
Welcome back.
Northern Lights, they've done it.
Welcome back towards military. That's going to be good for you.
Yeah.
And it's also going to be amazing for all these other teams that were sort of crammed in the West Coast. Sure, there are still the other teams also to go back to where they were before. But just remove that one team. It's going to make such a big difference for all these teams trying to rotate.
So was this Northern Lights saying, all right, we gave it a go. We tried a little bit of something different. We're going back to military base. We're more comfortable here. Unity can have Novo. And now we'll both see each other and go, all right, we're back to the same old style of play, guys.
Yeah.
You stay over there. We'll stay here. No problems at all. Primorsk, I think you're now right about Avangard. They just want to get out of the plane as early as possible. So they've gone for that again. No problems at all. We're going to see Tornado go up towards Zaki. Now, we did see this once yesterday. But is this going to be a constant... Oh, yeah, what's Compot doing?
I think he found a vehicle down there. He's like, guys, I'm going. We're not jumping yet. Okay, never mind.
And this is what we said, right? You can make little errors like this, but this is a big factor in.
Yeah.
If he now drives up past everyone else, does find himself a vehicle, he could be in a rough spot where, say, Seacorg or 3D Max see him and say, all right, we're just going to pick you apart when you try to cross.
What his job is going to be right now is Alpha Omega, get to a good compound and stay there. It doesn't even matter that you don't have the proper loot necessarily, but get into a good compound and stay there.
Yeah, I feel rough for him, man.
That's all you got to do right now. You got to say to the team, guys, so it turns out I'm in the middle of the circle. I have this and this and this available because I saw the other guys parachute in. What do you want me to take? And then I'll stay there. Bring extra meds, bring extra loot. Give it to me when you get here. I'll find a gun. I'll find the essentials. But you will bring me all I need in return for me, you guys getting a good compound.
Now, that's quite a good distance to get a shot from. Rafi got knocked down by one of the Stellar players just then. He won't get finished. Obviously, there's not really that much of a distance that he can now find him from hiding away. Stella's having a good look around there, and they're thinking, all right, we will try and take this fight to reciprocity early on.
Just one of those love taps saying, hey, guys, remember, we're over here. Don't even think about coming over and saying hello, because this is what's going to happen.
And if Stella stay there for a while, that will be the first team that reciprocity look to kind of challenge and go around, right? So there could be some of this just warning shots saying, be careful, boys. You've not had to come this way in a while. We are ready for you. We are here.
Now, one of the interesting things with this type of circle is that you saw how western the plane was. It never even crossed over Pochinki. It was further west than that, all the way up north. And, well, I mean, for the circle to go out west as well, it means that the majority of teams are, first of all, already inside the circle.
Yep.
But for the teams that are splitting around the center to get looted, they have to get together earlier because teams will start coming in and contesting things. And they know, well, there's no way 4 guys are going to be looting around in Gatka by themselves.
Yep.
So they will dare to go for some of these compounds outside in the open because they will be expecting to, well, worst case scenario, maybe there's going to be a 2-2 split, but more often than not, it's just going to be one guy sitting there.
That's it, right? Find these 1 players, pick them off, find yourself an early lead, an early advantage to play from. Now, interestingly enough, I want to see, are we going to see something different come out of Avangard now? Because they won't have to go on some mad rotation. They're basically within the circle anyway. They'll get their loot no problem at all. How are they going to play it from here? Are they going to go look take some more space up north or maybe challenge Besiktas here and just take areas away from them?
I think what you would expect see them do down from Primorsk is go up somewhere, if not on Quarry, then just on the east side of it, take some control, get a high ground position where you can scout further forward, see what's up, see what's available, so that if the next circle doesn't benefit you, you have at least some sort of info, maybe not to what's available inside the circle, but what direction you can rotate to scout even further forward.
Let's see how it does go down. Quick Math finally getting a circle that works out for them as well. They are a team that always struggle when they have the hard south rotations for them to take over from Severny. They've always struggled that even in the group stages, but they've been able to get it done regardless to find themselves here. Can they turn things around now? Because that's a team that certainly needs to really step it up and come alive in these next few games.
I think a lot of the teams, actually, when you think about it, I mean, it's just been reciprocity all over the place. The other wins that there's been hasn't been really... I mean, you saw the inside games when they sat in that compound for 8 circles. I mean, those sort of things, the only team that has really, what do you say, risen to the occasion has been reciprocity right off the bat. The only team that we can say game and game again has been in a, well, you know what, they clearly have something working right now. Everyone else has had a really good game, then they've fallen off, had a bad game, kind of back and forth, back and forth. Nobody's really found that rhythm yet other than them.
That's what it's about, right? Finding that rhythm, because that is what's going to lead you to success and to hit them, hit them key points. Remember, Reciprocity only do one more game with just a high kill game. They can see themselves over 100 points as we only hit match 2.
That's insane.
That's crazy to think about, isn't it?
Very impressive, and well, I mean, they've earned it. They've played really well, and again, it hasn't been one of those repeat things where. Let's just ignore that, Phantom. It hasn't been one of those repeat things where it's just been the same over and over again, them always sitting in the center. They're rotating around, they're getting kills, they're doing everything they have to in order to get the wins, and, well, they're doing it to perfection.
Now, Unity, right? They've been having some good games. They've looked individually strong and as a team unit when they've been having control of circles. This time around, this has gone all the way over towards the west, a little bit further away from them. They're going to have to rotate around. I want to see what they're able to do this time because, again, they are going to struggle for fighting for that space. And now especially that they've got military base also being taken over by Northern Lights here. So that means they pretty much are going to be forced to go one way.
Corp, they finally made their way out of North Georgia. Opting to go over the bridge early on makes sense because they do not want to get caught off up there should they be an issue. Stella shooting. I like the idea of a tap-in, but you might want to make sure you have more than 2 bullets in your weapon. And also the other weapon had to be reloaded too. Gotta reload them guns before you start rotating, guys.
That was the hope of trying to pick someone off from afar. I saw the opportunity, was like, I missed something here. Probably should have done that.
This time around, quick math, it's like, oh my, are we actually doing this again, guys? Are we having Sarki teams again? Because we were so glad when we saw that Erangel weren't playing up here anymore.
This is it, right? This is the thing that, like, these fights that happen, especially with 4 quick math, is where they really can't afford to lose players because they're one of the teams, like all teams are better with 4, but they shine massively there. You don't see them come back often when they're losing players early on.
And it's so surprising to me that Tornado Energy hasn't moved earlier because they have Combat in the center. I mean, right now he's not even in the compound. He's just playing it extremely safe. He says, I'm not going to go for a compound. I'm just going to chill and wait for you guys. And then hopefully we'll sort of get together at some point. But they have bridge control. Just get over there. Help him out. Get a better spot than what you're in right now.
It's so funny because he's just the one yellow out there on his own. Smash Bay, he got fed up with Lips and he said, all right, I'm just going to run you over. I'm giving up.
Could be some internal struggles in the team and a little banter going back and forth and one taking it a bit too personal, just running him over. We never know, but he's back up on his feet, so it looks like that's a... Then for good spot, hopefully he gave him a first stage, you know? Yeah. Like you don't want to waste your own first stage if you get run over by a teammate. It's like, as a excuse me gift or sorry gift, then you just get a little first hit there.
Good thing is, though, no other teams are really close to them. They were making their rotation in from Yasnaya, and every other team has already moved out. They can actually quite sit comfortably where they are as well. They don't have to go in and engage with some of these teams. You can just get yourself up and have a scout around and say, all right, we'll just wait and see what happens with the next circle, because there's no real need for us to push in just yet.
They have so much room to roam over by Ross. Like all those teams have moved center a long time ago. Reciprocity sitting in the yellows, and then you have Cass and Molman and Stella up towards the northwestern side of Ruins. Now finally, seems like the unification of the Tornado Energy has indeed happened.
It may have happened, but for how long? They've got Stella close by, and they've got Seacorg on top of the mountain. It means that they are certainly going to be found as soon as they start making some shots. They've also got 7 close by, and 3D Max making their way across.
Unity, they've made their way out as well. One of the teams to leave the military island. Seems like Northern Lights are still in it for a little while longer. You can see Unique. They haven't completely given up that bridge camp yet, but I like that Northern Lights are taking their time. They saw Meet Your Makers, how many times they were being contested by Unique. They know they're a team that will wait there if they get the chance to, and really smart to Northern Lights to say, no, we'll take it extra time. There's no reason for us to force it. We won't get in early anyway. Blast on now. They living up to his name and blasts down Pixelic.
Does need to be careful. Pixel may be far off on his own, but his teammates are close enough by to do some damage still, and they will be trying to apply the pressure, but Pixel will be our first player out of the server, and that means that already Inside Games off to a bad start.
The new circle pops and you see immediately right there how much open there is. Everything between Gatka, Chopsticks, down south as well as open fields. No hay bales, no nothing to work around. And we've seen some of these games before, already in Circle 2, Circle 3, you run out of utility. You think, oh, well, I guess our vehicle can't drive anymore either. And they're just forced to run around in the open like a goose without a head on, and it's not going to be easy.
Now, poor Comp trash. He stayed alive the whole time, gets his teammates with him, and he's the first one to be knocked. He's like, are you kidding me? I've been here for so long.
Is that what you give me? Is that what I get for all this hard work? I guess it's on him to jump out of the plane that early too. But in the end, we did see that circle go a little further north, a little more center, I guess you should say. And for all these teams around here that don't have compounds, they have to figure, do we want to somehow try and sit in the open and see if we can scout further forward, or do we want to make a push on it? Because as you can see for Rita right now, you might be covered from one angle, but odds are that other teams will be seeing you.
Not ideal at all. A lot of damage being done there from Moleman. Rafi constantly getting engaged. He wants to be able to take this. And Reciprocity already found himself get one knock onto the Smash Bay players from We Need a Home. He may get put back up, but this is Reciprocity saying, guys, we're here, we are ready, and we've got a pretty nice spot that we're comfortable to play from, and we're still going to challenge you no matter where you go.
Nice scouting done by Jamboe and Stella. They saw the compound. They sat up there on the hillside for a while. It was like, any movement, any movement. Now we're shooting out here. Maybe that can lure them to the windows. Nobody's reacting. Good, let's send it. Let's go for it.
This is so smart from Reciprocity as well. You've taken them first few shots. You expect We Need a Home to try again. Shiv's seen already one player. Having a look around, goes in for the tagging him up. Does get a nice bit of spray off. Nade comes out straight away. Good reactions from Shiv, and he's not going to go and push this. Rafi's there ready to be on cleanup duty. And Reciprocity, they start this all over once again, looking to put the hurt onto We Need a Home.
Six is taking shots from Quick Math. Tuoyu who secures himself on yet another point for his team right there. And seems like Reciprocity have had a bit too much of it, saying, you know what, let's just go back and take this compound that we already had down here, because teams could be pushing in from south, and they indeed are. Sakritnam making their way on up towards them.
And Besiktas, right? They had a little bit more space this time around. It wasn't as heavily contested. They can sit here for a little while longer. The circle is certainly in their favour as of now. Avangard, though, got himself a little bit of room up towards Hospital. They're just chasing up after everyone else.
They actually have made their way up north. Nice call, James. You said that they could go around the northern side and take a position up there. I thought they were going to play it from the south, but they actually did go north. Good call.
The thing is, it's just from how they play, right? We've seen it from Avangard. Even though something might make more sense to do, and like you said, take the angle, take the high ground. Yeah. They love just going for rotation where people will never guess that they're coming from. They're like, you think we're going to go north. This side, we're going south.
Maybe they're confusing themselves on purpose as well. Like, one rolls a die. Where do we go? It's like a die with S, W, N, and all that stuff on it. E as well.
If you're ever looking for Avangard, you just don't guess it, because they are choosing something completely random every time. They're like, yep, we got this.
If we don't know, how can they know?
Yeah, exactly. 300 IQ play.
10 seconds to go approximately there around for the new circle to pop, and this could be a big one, because if it shifts back south or anywhere center, really, there's really not a lot of compounds available now. I mean, we're seeing teams in 3 or 2-1-1 splits. Most mention worthy is going to be the ones in the middle, but holy ruins. This is a horrible circle for, well, everyone that ain't in it already. This is going to be so brutal for all these southwestern teams trying to make their rotations in. Avangard already driving north, and they're immediately followed by Quickbat. They know we need to get up there, we need to get around, we need to get inside this circle and get something, because if we're just 20 seconds late to the party here, there won't be anything available at all.
Seacork is going to be an interesting one, right? Because they're still in the circle. They've got this massive high ground advantage, and they're going to be looking at everything and saying, all right, we see one team there, we can shoot on them. We see the next team coming through. They could do a lot of damage here.
And the thing is, there's a lot of room to sit on the foot of Everest, like pretty much all around it, and they need to keep people from doing that. Because once, or if they're forced to go back from, or down from there, they cannot have teams sitting down waiting for it. Because they'll be pushing down, while all these other teams can be shooting up at them as well at the same time. So they need to constantly make room for themselves.
And already, right, you're seeing open areas that other teams are going to have to come through, while there's other teams already stationed and ready to fight from. This is going to make it very difficult for the likes of Besiktas, 3D Max, Northern Lights, because if they're not going to go all the way around and go up north, they're going to come through this western side. There's already teams clustered together ready for this.
I'm actually surprised to see we don't see more teams take the wide rotation out east. It's only Circle 2, closing into 3. And I mean, they could, if they wanted to, go technically through Pochinki and take their way all the way around north. It looks like actually that Inside Games are doing something similar to it right there. And they know, I mean, with the double shift up in that direction, there's going to be room available.
And that's it, right? It's going to be one of those ones where you need to make a decision. Okay, I'll take a little bit of extra damage. It's not that bad at this point. We can still deal with it, rather than go through and take a lot of damage from other teams firing in on you.
This is a really, really smart rotation from Inside Games. Inside Games are one of those teams that we've mainly been looking at in the end game, where they've been sitting in a good compound. They got themselves that win off of it yesterday. But now that we get to spotlight them doing these smart rotations too, I like to see it. Simpsy taken down, to be expected when you're 3 guys rotating in one vehicle in this area of the map. And they're trying to stay alive for a little while longer. And Seagorg, fortunately, helping them out a bit there.
That's massively saving Lux there and Tomil in their car. Seagorg started to spray on down into it, but actually you've also got Quick Mafia already at the same time. So the Deep, he finds Simsy, he goes, I'm just going to run you over, put that body under the car and let it roll away.
Not a whole lot more to it than that. Lux and Tomil now the only players remaining for Besiktas. They had a rough time yesterday, and they want to get something going their way today. But gotta say kudos to the server. I mean, only losing 3 players at 15 minutes, that's gotta be a record for this one.
The damage coming out from Seacorp, but they're also getting it replied to them. Avangard, they're not going to miss shots like that. While 3D Max, they've started to engage Northern Lights, and Northern Lights were the ones dealing the damage as the team started to rotate. Now they're finding themselves in the rough spot.
And this is what we're talking about. All these teams that want to sit in and around this Everest Hill. Now, I guess they can benefit them to a certain extent, because the circle did go back down in that direction. But for them to be sitting up here like this, it's going to be so tricky for them to leave, because it's again one of those things, you get so close to your opponents that you kind of stumble across each other trying to make the rotations out from there.
These shots coming in, right? Page being knocked down just there. Gonna have to get some smokes down, because again we're out in the open, and Inside Games, despite already losing 1 man early on, very early on in the game, they're still gonna push up forward for this. They are hungry to fight back and get some of these kills. Tomil's being knocked out there as Seacorp, they've come into this and they're dealing with 2 teams fighting up from up high. So Seacorp's still able to do the damage as Zampeak's going in to start delivering it. Can Zen fire back? They're taking so much damage there, just getting caught off at every turn here.
Will and Page has both been taken down, and I'm just sitting here waiting for Reciprocity to third party in this one. They're all looking up in this direction, expecting some team to go down at some point soon so they can go for it, but they don't want to give up the position, at least not right now. Vasco's trying to hold the angle, has the smoke to work with, is spraying through the smoke like a madman, hitting some shots there as well, just trying to see if he can sort of figure with the sound and everything where these shots are coming from. Gets himself 1 knock off of it too.
Oh my god, he's managed to reload in the open, but it was just too long. Unfortunate there for Vansku, trying to hold off for his team as Zen are the first team out of this.
Not a whole lot more they could do there, unfortunately. Had multiple teams shooting in their direction. The Inside Games got the better of it. Now Desperado and Unique squaring off against one another down by the yellows.
Desperados fire back 2v1, no cover fire coming in just yet. Desperados, they need to work together as a team. This is no good for Fates to come out just a little bit too late there.
Trying to get control over the hill, trying to get some sort of info, but they do manage to fall back successfully. And it's actually a pretty hard thing to do. Proper disengages. Once you come in and you got yourself a knock, you always want to keep going. Oh, we got 1 guy, we can do more. But they say, you know what, we got the knock, let's fall back, reset, prepare for a fight again. Now we have the advantage.
Now Inside Games have lost the Zampeak to the circle, but it's not the end of the world. They've still got 2 players left alive. They've dealt with Zen, but they know that Reciprocity are close by.
Yeah. And they have to figure how they're going to enter this circle. It's going to be a tricky one, that's for sure. Calvin taking down play with me. That's the upper hand, the upper ankle up there from the little rock formation. Tries to see if he can spot something over them. Nate's coming in his direction. Won't take him down right now. Standard taken down though by Coldament, and all of a sudden things are looking grim for Unique.
Oh, Unique can't catch a break as they pop out. They thought they had the drop on them, but more shots coming in. Desperados with a 3-pronged assault. They're ready and waiting from all different directions. Unique trying to push forward. Calvin Klein doing huge damage there, and what a play. What a spray down. Unique get eliminated next.
Well done by Calvin, holding the angle there. Get some support from Coldamenta as well. And in the end, they secure themselves the kills. They're important ones too, because they're far down south, and they cannot have teams around them when they're going to be forced to rotate. Tuho taken down as well. Not a whole lot more you can do from there. You're so far out in the open, it was just going to be a matter of time.
The problem there for Tua Euro is you had the circle coming in on you. You had to run all the way around to get out of it. You were going to take damage anyway, so he just had to give up that fight. But who aren't giving up that fight is Avangard. They're seeing Seacorp's position and saying, all right, you boys, waste your time up here. We're going to come around and finish you off as well.
Kings off the hill. Everybody right now fighting on the edges. Inside Games, despite a proper rotation early on, Reciprocity wouldn't let them have it, and down they go. But now new circles just about to pop. Where are we going? Well, we're going dead center, and I think Stella pretty satisfied with them going here early. And same thing going for Tornado Energy, saying, oh, you know what? I kind of like this position right now.
And remember, this is the position that Reciprocity allowed Stella to take. They watched them walk into it, they started taking the first few shots, but then Reciprocity backed away. Now it's benefited them and Tornado, and they're looking strong to be able to close out this game towards the end.
Snoopy being like, wait, did he just get killed? Oh, I guess he did. But they're under a lot of fire as well. Snoopy and Noctiv, last 2 remaining players on their feet, at least for right now. For Erangel, trying to hold off any incoming threats, but it's such a hard position to play from here. They aren't inside the circle yet. They have to push further down towards the open, and Unity is sitting here waiting for them.
If Snoopy can get Max's orgs back up, that's going to be huge and give Erangel a good chance. They've still got to deal with Seacorp behind them, Northern Lights in front of them, 3D Max just down below.
Smart rotations coming in from both Desperados and for Reciprocity, trying to use whatever vehicles they have remaining to stay alive with. They have a dip up there called the Mensa, unfortunately does go down. Got a little too curious, trying to look over the top of the hill right there, but it was taken down by 7 trying to do so.
Desperados, they are very much out in the open, but Stella, they're not relenting on to Reciprocity. They want to be able to find the kills. They're getting the knocks done, and they know they're just biding their time a little bit more here. The problem is for Stella, don't get too over-aggressive. Don't have to challenge and get the kills yet because your position is so vital.
Yeah, the thing is they don't want to get pinned inside, so they try to go out and get info. And also with this position, you can see all the way around it, pretty much on the southern and eastern side, is a dip down, so it's very limited how much control you can really take from here. Nice spray down from Furex, though, taking down Maxi Soul. Was rest just before, but down he goes in return. And once again, he's on his knees. Snoopy and Noctiv back to being the only 2 guys on their feet. And look at the sneaky moves from Snoopy.
Snoopy playing the ninja role, watching his teammate fall down, but it doesn't matter because there's still 2 of them left alive to try and do this. Can they get it done, though, is another question. Snoopy waiting for it.
Here's the steps. Trying to hold the angle, just waiting for him to peek on over the top.
Eagle might be ready for a wear for it, but it does not work out for Snoopy this time. Furex has found him, and now it's only up to an Noctiv. Can he get it done? He's going to be spotted out next. The spray coming out, but he does manage to get the first one. Looking for the second. What can Sonzi do from here? They've also got to be careful because the Besiktas have come into it, and now an Noctiv's going to know.
Lux is pushing over from behind the last guy on his team, and he's just exactly not going to get inside of the Erangel. We're going to be thinking, well, Noctiv at least, like, wait, there was so much shooting, and everyone said, you know what, I'll just make the run on down from here. Not a whole lot more to it than that.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not going to risk this any longer. I can just chill for a bit. I'm going to get myself in the circle. But he needs to be aware of 3D Max's position ever so close to him.
They're sitting right next to him a little further west, down on the foot of Everest. New circle's going to pop once more. Where are we going? It's going to go over towards the likes of 7. You see from Carrier and Buster with full control. They're going to be sitting themselves on half the circle if they can contain 3D Max on the other side of the rope, but they are rotating out already.
This is it, right? For Erangel, you've just got 1 player left alive, and Noctiv's going to have to sit there as long as possible. But actually, he may be able to get away with it, hiding behind the rocks, because he hasn't got that far to go to push back in the circle.
I like the position here from 3D Max, using the dip and the vehicle for cover. Running over now, Jambaway trying to take control of Shift. Does manage to get him down as well. Nice knock coming in there. Important one as well as they try to control what's going on. And that's the issue you get when you're Reciprocity. You're splitting this thin. It's so hard to really help out your teammates once they're down.
Yeah, that just means Haxeti and Rafi have got to try and hold this off, and it's a strong push coming out from Stella. They are wanting to get rid of him here and now. They know what damage Reciprocity can end up doing, and they have no choice but to back away.
Desperados, just 2 players remaining, trying to lay low inside the center. But these are the previous circle. Calvin and Fake trying to hold the angle, and Noctiv now on the tons of fire as he tries to make the run on down. Shots being fired in return, though, but it's not going to be enough. He will go down in 9th place.
He'll never go down without a fight, though. He's always just trying to tap away, managed to land a couple of shots, but it isn't going to work out. Our last 8 teams are remaining here. They're in chance with the points, and Reciprocity still hanging in there just with 2 players left alive.
Smashbait and Rita did manage to get up towards the compound. They got down 60 as well to Jamboree, getting the rest on up. There's still 4 guys alive on Stella. This could be a really good game for them. Can they sort of prevent this pin-in from happening? Moleman and Cass are in position to help out, but as you can see, they're taking fire from a lot of different angles.
And this is it, right? As soon as you start firing off like Stella have been doing, there's going to be a lot of eyes peeled onto you, and Unity are starting to make their way down. They've also got Desperados and Reciprocity starting to shoot in on it. We need a home go down in 8th place, but they did their best, and they've actually distracted Stella for long enough for these other teams to push in.
I'll have a chance to make the move on out and see Unity sitting up here. Each their tree to work with. That's just going to be the little Joker jumping around. Look at me, look at me, look at me. While they'll be shooting in return. He does go down immediately, though. Not a whole lot more to it than that. Moleman taking down T-Serene as well. All of a sudden, things looking grim for Stella. They had everything under control, but because of the team trying to contain them, they bought Unity enough time to push around and pin them in.
Even then, Reciprocity managed to pick off one of the kills there. Just any little extra point they can right now, they're looking to do it. Now, this whole south side of the circle is very much empty here, and Unity are going to take some huge damage from that circle, and that's it, mate. You're done.
Keep crawling.
Crawl as far as you can, but you're going to take a lot of damage.
Odds are that he will indeed not get back up this game, that's for sure. There you go. Down and out he goes. At least, I mean, because he got rest, there was no knock coming in and no points for anyone else in that regard. Millman and Tornado Energy, they have been inside the circle all the way up until now, but now they will indeed have to move. Still 4 guys alive and 7. Edelweiss actually made his way, you can see it on the top left corner up there, over to the other side of the street, trying to control 3D Max, and if not shooting them, at least giving the info on as to where they're moving.
Yeah, and that's actually huge, right? Because they can get so much information to play off of here, and they've got a good split. The only team with actual circle control now is 7, but that means they will be the main targets for all the other teams coming in.
The X team has the scope on his M24, and he just needs one good knock here that would allow for Edelweiss to push in and do some damage, but a headshot is coming in return, and he has to play it safe. Oh, one nade. Edelweiss, do you have the arm needed here? Do you have the arm needed? And he does! The double immediately. Oh, somehow Noki stays alive, and they weren't even knocked either. They were not knocked, but the vehicle explosion takes them out. There is no counterplay to that at all.
Noki's like, I'm going to sit with the dead bodies. Maybe you'll think I am a dead body. Maybe I can stay alive a little bit longer, but Tornado are now trying to push on into him.
That was a really good reaction play, but X team is getting too greedy and it's costing him.
Hack said he sat in the circle and he's just going to go out and die to it. Reciprocity down in 6th place. They didn't want to deal with that for too much longer. They didn't think they had a chance. This is just absolute chaos as Tornado are just spraying away. 7 somehow managing to stay up and alive in this as Unity are in a pretty good position regardless, but they need to deal with Desperado.
There's no reason to get that greedy. You have the teammates around you. Push together instead of trying to overcommit to something like that when you don't know where your opponents are. They had the 4 guys alive, and now they're down to just one player. Fake taking down here as well. Orange Snow trying to make everything of a bad situation. Blast on now trying to get the refrag over the top. Calvin down low, and he gets himself a double.
Unity down in 4th place. Desperados looking strong still, but it's actually 7 with 3 players left alive as Desperados go down. Now we're in a 3 versus 1. Melman completely on his own. He gets picked off out of nowhere. He ends up going down to Buster Travel, and that's going to be 8